This is Britt Caswell-Wind with another example video. In this video I'm going to be covering lesson 1-6, example number 4, in the SavvasRealize Algebra 1 textbook. So, in this example, we are talking about a kid named Enrique and his dog River. And Enrique is trying to help River with some diet issues, which I think we all need here in the quarantine, right? So, he says that River is consuming between 510 and 540 calories per day. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to create what's called a no-need plan, just to help me organize my information, okay? So, for my no, I'm going to write everything that I know about this problem. So what we just read there is that he needs between 510 and, she needs, it's a girl dog, 540 calories total. Also in this word problem, if River eats 1.5 servings of dog food, oh, my color didn't change. I'm going to write that down. So they say she eats 1.5 servings of food each day, and it's asking how many treats she can have. Okay, so that how many treats can she have, that's something that I need, right? So I'm going to write the word need here. Spelled incorrectly, apparently. There we go. And that's to help me keep track of what I'm looking for, okay? So I need to know how many treats that River can have. And then we need some kind of plan of action to get there. Now this word problem is giving us some other stuff outside the text, okay? And unless you look for it, you may not see it. Right here, do you see the dog food? So we know that food, sorry, I had to sneeze. We know that food has 320 calories per serving. So 320 calories per serving. And then we see their milk bones over there, the treats. There are 15 calories per treat. So treats, 15 calories per. Alright, so I want to think of a plan. Now I can create some kind of equation. Okay, that's one option for my plan. Okay. I can try to solve it with a picture. Okay, maybe a number line might help me get there. Okay. So I could work off of either of those two plans, okay? I'm going to do it off of both, just so you guys have some extra things to see, okay? Some extra ideas. So I'm going to start with the picture with the number line. I think that might be easiest. And I'm going to use some of the information that I know. So part of my known information is that River can only eat between 510 and 540 calories. So on my number line, I'm going to make sure I have 510 and 540. And I need the diet to fall between there. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, I know that the minimum number of calories that river can eat is 0, right? It's not like the dog can eat negative calories in a day. The next thing is this yellow option and this brown option paired together. Okay, it says that river can eat 1.5 servings of food. Okay, now 1 serving of the food is 320 calories. So that's about right here, right? And so then we need to see what another half serving would put us at. So in our need, we now have a new need. How many calories is 1/2 serving of food? And we can get that pretty easy, right? All that you need to do is take the 320, that is 1 full serving, and divide it by 2. That's 160 calories. So if I take that 160 and I add it onto the 320, that puts the food consumption for river about here at 480. So just from river's kibble, we are at 480 calories. Okay, Paparino has eaten there. So now we can look at the treats, and we could start trying to figure out how many treats we can give to river. Okay, so if river eats 1 treat, that's 15 calories. That would put us at 495. Okay, if river eats another treat, that puts us exactly at 510. Another treat would be 525. And 1 more would put us at 540. So now I could just look at my markers and see kind of my range of treats. Right? So river can have between 2 and 4. That should be a 4. Sorry, my pen doesn't always read to pick up. Treats. Now, why did I say between 2 and 4? Why didn't I say up to 4? Well, remember that in our first sentence, right up here, it says that river wants to consume between 510 and 540 calories. And it took 2 treats to get river to that point where she had 510 calories. Okay, so 2 of those treats are kind of necessary to meet the minimum calories. Okay, so now let's try to solve this with an equation. So I'm probably going to be using an inequality, right? Because it's a range, something between. This between is telling me that this is going to be an inequality problem. Okay? So I know that if I'm looking between things, right, I have between 510 and 540. Now, can it equal 510 calories? For sure, right? River can eat exactly 510. And river can eat exactly 540. So make sure to put those little bars under there. So now we need to look at what would go inside. Alright, so we know that River can eat 1.5 servings of food. So to show that, I'm going to take 1.5 and I'm going to multiply it by however many calories are in River's food. That's 320. Okay, so that gets me the food portion there. And so then we want to ask, or figure out how to add in 15 calories per treat. Now remember, at this point in time, we don't exactly know how many calories how many treats she can have, right? So that number of treats I'm going to call X. So if I multiply 15 times the number of treats, that'll give me how many calories that River is eating in treats. And there we go, there is my inequality. And now we could break it into two inequalities and solve it. But I need a little bit more space, okay? I didn't plan this out very well, apparently. So I'm going to go ahead and erase my stuff on my number line. That way we have room to solve our math problem. Okay. Now remember, when you have a compound inequality like this, we could split this into two inequalities. Okay? I could split it into 510 is less than or equal to 1 1/2 times 320 plus 15x. Or I could have 1 1/2 times 320. Ooh, this might get a little squished. There's a 540 in here. Okay, there we go. I could do that. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and draw our river. And I'll make sure there's more room for this one on the right here in just a second. So my first thing that I tend to do when I solve these is I multiply out the stuff that needs to be multiplied out. So I'm going to do 1.5 or 1.5 is what I'm going to type in my calculator, times 320. And that is 480. So here I have 510. It's less than or equal to 480 plus 15x. And then I'm going to subtract 480 from each side, because right now it's being added to each side. Okay, so 510 minus 480 is 30. So I have that 30 is less than or equal to 15x. And then that right there, that's multiplication. So to cancel out multiplication, you need to divide. That's the inverse operation. And you get that 2 is less than or equal to x. Right? So that was the lower number that we got earlier when we did the inequality. So now I'm going to try to get a little bit more space for my second inequality. That 540 is still a little squished, but I think we can make it work. Alright, so again, we're going to start by doing that 1 1/2 times 320. So we know that this is 480. And we know we're adding 15x to it, and that it is less than or equal to 540. Notice that I accidentally put a plus there. I meant that I was subtracting, right? Because it has to be the same. So now I'm going to subtract the 480 from each side. So I get that 15x is less than or equal to 540 minus 480, that is 60. And then to isolate x, I divide by 15. And I get that x is less than or equal to 4. So I can just plop an and between these, and this would be my answer. Or if we want to write it as a word answer, you know, that's how we answer word problems usually. I would say River needs to eat between 2 and 4 treats. Okay. So now, in the second part of the problem, Enrique is going to go ahead and he's buying a different kind of treat. And so when Enrique is buying his treat, he finds some that are kind of diet treats that are 10 calories each instead of 15. Everything else about the problem is still the same, okay? River still needs between 510 and 540. There's still 320 calories in a serving of dog food. Still eating 1.5 servings of food a day. But the new treats have changed. So what that means is that my original inequality is all still going to be the same, with the exception of the number being multiplied times x. In the last problem, we were multiplying 15 times x because we had to multiply the amount of calories per treat times the number of treats. So instead of having a 15 up here, we're going to put a 10 because now it's only 10 calories. Alrighty, so then again, we're going to break it into two inequalities. I'm going to have lots of room here for this, won't I? So 510 is less than or equal to 1 1/2 times 320 plus 10x. And then I still have 1 1/2 times 320 plus 10x is less than or equal to 540. I apologize if you hear my cat in the background. She's excited that I'm awake. So we're going to go ahead, draw our little river down the inequality symbol. Alrighty, so again, first we multiply it out right here. So 1 1/2 times 320 is 480. And remember, the steps to solve here are the same on each side. So I can go ahead and do that over here as well. So I have 510 is less than or equal to 480 plus 10x and on my right hand side I'm just filling in the equation as well. So then we need to go through and subtract the 480 to the other side since it's being added. We could do it on this side as well. Now, some students, they get really experienced with these compound inequalities, and they know how to solve these like simultaneously so they don't have to rewrite it. If you get to that point, that's great. You could go ahead and do that, okay? It's not wrong to do it as one inequality, but it is a lot easier to see it as two. Alright, so 510 minus 480, that is 30. Over here, 540 minus 480 is 60. And then our last step, our tail end step, is to divide both sides by 10. So I get that 3 is less than or equal to x, and that x is less than or equal to 6. Alright, so to answer it in words, because we like to answer in words, with the new treat, River can eat between 3 and 6. Right? So the treats have fewer calories each, and so she can have more of them. Might be a good life for a doggy. Depends on if she likes it more or not, right? There we go. That's example 4, y'all. Until next time.